Where's that villain, Captain Hook? I'll slice him up and throw him to that crocodile.
What do Bobby Driscoll, Judy Garland, and Michael Jackson all have in common?
My high starched collar and my high top shoes and my hair piled high up on my head.
For a time, they were icons. The voice of Disney's Peter Pan, the girl who followed the yellow brick road, and the king of pop himself. But behind the applause and platinum records was a harsher reality. Fame doesn't guarantee fortune. And for these stars, the spotlight eventually faded into financial ruin.
There are some celebrities who could use some of that money.
It may shock you to know that some of the biggest names in Hollywood claim to be broke.
This is the tragic legacy of famous people who died broke.
Do you know what it means to miss New Orleans?
Billie Holiday, born Eleanora Fagan, rose from Harlem clubs to shape the sound of jazz. Her voice raw, mournful, defiant birthed classics like Strange Fruit and sold out Carnegie Hall. She sang with pain as her muse, forging a legacy with every note.
Yes, the strong get more.
But fame gave no shelter. Paid flat fees, denied royalties, and barred from clubs after a drug conviction, her money vanished, lost to family, comforts, and addiction. No will, no plan, just a career gutted by systemic cruelty and personal chaos. In 1959, at 44, she collapsed from cirrhosis. Denied proper hospital care and arrested in her hospital bed, she died under police guard with 70 cents in the bank and bills taped to her leg. Estranged, broke, and alone, she left a world that failed her, but a sound that never fades. Bobby Driscoll was Disney's golden boy, bright-eyed, quick-witted, and unforgettable as Jim Hawkins in Treasure Island and the voice of Peter Pan.
Where's that villain, Captain Hook? I'll slice him up and throw him to that crocodile.
He won an Oscar at 12, walked the Hollywood red carpet, and left his mark on cinema before puberty dimmed his glow. Dropped by Disney at 16 for acne and age, Driscoll spiraled, roles vanished, addiction took hold, and the industry turned its back. Arrests, rehab, and prison followed. He tried to re-enter acting, but was locked out, broke, and shunned. Fame had vanished. Hope followed. In 1968, at just 31, Driscoll was found dead in a New York tenement, surrounded by empty bottles and scattered tracts. No ID, no one claimed his body. He was buried in a mass pauper's grave on Hart Island, nameless, forgotten. His rise was meteoric, his fall cruelly quiet. A cautionary tale etched in stardust and sorrow.
What's your name?
Kimberly Drummond.
What do you do?
Ice skate.
Where are you going?
To the Olympics.
Down the hatch.
All right.
Dana Plato lit up screens as Kimberly Drummond on Different Strokes, America's teen sweetheart with a bright future. Behind the wholesome image, though, was a girl spiraling, grappling with addiction, grief, and the weight of fame too young.
I have been sober for the longest time. Gosh, for almost a decade now. I'll do a UA right now.
What's the UA?
Urine test. Urine analysis, I'll do it. I'll do it right now.
After her show ended, roles dried up. An accountant swindled her savings, leaving her nearly penniless. Arrests, rehab, and failed comebacks followed. Living in a motorhome, working odd jobs, she fought to stay afloat far from the spotlight she once owned. In 1999, at just 34, Plato died in her sleep from a lethal mix of Lortab and Soma. No note, just silence. Her ashes were scattered over the Pacific, her pain hidden behind a final radio interview insisting she was sober. A fallen starlet, remembered as much for her glow as for the darkness that swallowed it. Corey Haim was the soft-eyed heartthrob of the 1980s, stealing scenes in Lucas and the Lost Boys. His charm, vulnerability, and boyish energy made him a teen idol, and alongside Corey Feldman, he became one half of the iconic Two Coreys.
Wife.
Yeah, so what, you back her up all the time?
Yes, I back her up all the
But fame faded fast. Addiction took hold. By his 20s, Haim was shunned by studios, broke, and in and out of rehab over 15 times. He filed for bankruptcy in 1997, owing over $200,000 in taxes. At the end, he had just $5,000 to his name, no car, and lived with his mother. In 2010, at 38, Haim collapsed in their Burbank apartment. He died from pneumonia, with an enlarged heart and fluid in his lungs. Prescription bottles lined the room, but no cause beyond illness was confirmed. A fallen star of his era, he was buried far from Hollywood in Toronto, Canada. His light dimmed too soon. Marvin Gaye, the Prince of Soul, fused velvet vocals with protest and passion, from What's Going On to Sexual Healing. A Motown icon, he shaped generations with his duets, his depth, and his defiance. At his peak, he wasn't just a singer, he was a movement. But stardom masked chaos. Addiction, lavish spending, IRS debts, and legal battles swallowed his millions. By 1984, he was bankrupt $9 million in the red living with his parents, haunted by paranoia, wearing a bulletproof vest offstage. On April 1st, 1984, at 44, Marvin tried to break up a fight between his parents. His father, using a gun Marvin had given him, shot him in the heart. He died minutes later.
You know, his father shot him.
And you started crying at that.
Oh, absolutely. I could not believe that.
Cremated, his ashes scattered at sea, Gaye left behind a broken body, but an immortal sound. A prophet undone not by silence, but by the violence he couldn't sing away. Judy Garland, born Frances Gumm, was a force of raw emotion and radiant talent. From The Wizard of Oz to A Star is Born, she captivated the world with a voice that trembled on the edge of joy and heartbreak. Her concerts were electric, her comebacks legendary.
My high starch collar and my high top shoes and my hair piled high up on my head.
But behind the curtain, Judy was unraveling. She earned millions, yet mismanagement, IRS debts, and relentless generosity drained it all. Divorces, lawsuits, and seized wages left her nearly penniless. By 1969, she was exhausted, medicated, performing just to survive.
She was always made out to be just this daughter of tragedy, but she was happy and goofy and fun, and she had a self-deprecating sense of humor that a lot of people don't necessarily know about.
On June 22nd, in a rented London home, Judy was found dead from an accidental barbiturate overdose. She was 47, with $40,000 to her name and $500,000 in debt. The girl who sang about a land over the rainbow never found peace in this one, but her voice still haunts the clouds. Michael Jackson was the king of pop, a dazzling genius who reshaped music, dance, and culture. From Thriller to the moonwalk, His perfectionism birthed global phenomena, earning billions and breaking every chart. Yet behind the sequins lived a fragile soul, addicted to fame and painkillers. Despite massive earnings, Jackson died over $500 million in debt. Lavish spending, lawsuits, and loans against his Beatles catalog drained his empire. Desperate to recover, he planned a comeback tour, but his body was failing, and his insomnia fatal.
King of Pop has died. Michael Jackson, the pop music and dance innovator, passed away yesterday.
On June 25, 2009, in a rented LA mansion, Jackson died of cardiac arrest, his veins full of propofol, administered by his doctor. He was 50. The death was ruled a homicide. No encore, just silence. The man who once ruled the stage exited alone, costumes waiting, chasing a piece the world never gave him. They gave us everything: magic, music, memories, and moments that shaped generations, only to leave this world with barely anything to their name. Dying broke didn't erase their talent, but it did expose a system that too often chews up brilliance and spits it out forgotten. What if they'd been protected? What if their worth had been valued beyond fame? These were not just celebrities. They were human beings, deserving of more than applause while alive, and more than pity once gone. Rest in peace to the icons who gave everything and deserved so much more. Drop a comment with the name of a star you think the world should never forget. Hit that like button and subscribe for more untold stories from history and pop culture. Until next time, stay curious, stay compassionate, and we'll see you in the next video.